try to give us shift to continue moving on. And that Sangati, when added those pins on, it's like double. It's very heavy. Yeah. And I try to keep this rope, still wearing this rope because I'll be going to Sri Lanka soon. We will have a short waffle piece in Sri Lanka for about 5 or 6 days before receiving the Buddha relics, trying to cultivate some merits to handle the relics back to United States.
Bhante, speaking of your trip to India, would you mind telling us about how you met Aloka and how he came back with you?
Day 6 of that journey from Kolkata, India, there was so many dogs that follow us, right? But like a couple hours and 1 or 2 days, they all quit. Aloka followed us on day 6, but he was same as the other stray dog around. In India, a lot of stray dog. It's almost everywhere. And so he saw us walk, and then he just followed at the beginning. He also hesitated to get closer to the monks too. But then when we feed him with cookies and things like that and snacks, and he continue following day after days, and then he get used to us already, and we build trust in each other, and he followed me. He followed the monks, and I took care of him really well every day. When he see mud, when he see like dirty water, he just sunken himself down there. So his body is always dirty every single day. And he encountered a lot of fight too, stray dogs. He, being a stray dog, I believe that he have to protect himself. That is why when there's dogs around, and he always attack and try to protect himself and the monks. So he encountered a lot of fight, and also got into a car accident once. The car hit him really bad, like 10 meters away, flew 10 meters away. And so, but he still survived, and he got into like a really bad condition, illness, vomiting, diarrhea, coughing, and his nose always stuck with mucus and things like that, so he cannot breathe. By that time, I thought he's gonna die because no vet, no medicine at all, right? Sometime when I try myself to look for a vet, but the doctor, when trying to give him injection, use the needle and poke into his leg. And then the needle is like straight like it bent like this. The vet took out and then straightened it out and poked it in again. I was like, really, is this something? This is abnormal at all. So keep doing that for 5 different vets. And he's still, unrecovered. And then finally, by the border of India and Nepal, he was really in a bad condition. His body starts to smell and very cold. So I believe that he's dying. And I carry him in my arm and walk around by the village, by the markets, and asking for vet. When I talk in English, they respond in Hindi, so I didn't know what they're saying. Luckily, I found one of the company, and they speak English, and they help to locate the vet. And we found one of the vet. I took him there. The vet gave him injection and medication and things like that. But before that, before we met with the vet, I took off because he was in that building, so I think he's safe. So I went to get some stuff, and then when I returned, he wasn't there. And then I asked the owner, and they say no, they didn't see him. They didn't realize that he left. And so we look around, but we couldn't find him. So I thought where could he go? Because he cannot walk that far, right? And I was thinking he might go back to the immigrant's office, because that is where we started out to go look for a vet, right? That is when I pick him up and carry him in my arm and walk around. And I walked back to that immigration office, and he was lying there waiting for me. And I call Aloka, and he starts to stand up and then happy, and I'd come to pick him up and go see the vet. That is when I remember is the most stood out to me, because he's very smart. He thought that I left him or something, right? And so we be able to shift him. And after a long journey, I think that almost come to an end, and I think that he deserved better. If I leave him there at the Bodh Gaya, then he will go back to his old day, which is being a stray dog again. And I don't want that. And I keep on checking and asking, how can I bring him to America? And animal in India coming to United States is red flag. It's not allowed. So after a long time consulting and then working with different companies, and we finally got him all kind of vaccines and everything, prepare himself, and $14,000 for him to fly from India to here after all the documents and everything in a cargo airplane, cargo compartment. And he flew on a different airplane, and I go on a different one. And when he got to JFK, New York, he got there and quarantined for 28 days. 28 days there. And then after that, we went there to pick him up, to bring him by road to our monastery, a long journey of driving. And he became U.S. citizen just like that. And that $14,000 is actually supported by our volunteers, our people here. When they heard that I want to bring Aloka to United States, they just cook, vegetarian food, and they cook and sell it to fundraise for Aloka. And they got that amount of money to pay for Aloka to come to the United States. So he came to the United States, and then he messed up my kuti. Yeah, Aloka is like that.
Wow. Yeah, talk about a lot of merit.
When Venerable Bhikkhu Pannakara walks, he does not walk alone. He carries his robe, heavy, not only in weight, but in commitment. He walks with intention. He walks with practice. And on that long road, many beings come and go. But one day, on the 6th day of the journey, a small stray dog began to follow. That dog was Aloka. At first, there was distance, fear, uncertainty, but slowly, through food, through care, through presence, trust was built. Day after day, Aloka stayed through mud, through fights, through pain, even after being hit by a car, even in sickness. He kept going, and Bhante stayed with him. There were moments where it felt like the end. No proper medicine, no clear help, only effort, only care, only compassion in its raw form. And then one moment, Aloka disappeared. In that uncertainty, Bhante kept searching, not knowing where to go, not knowing what would happen next. And then he was there, waiting, at the place where it all began. That moment says everything. This is not just a story of a dog. This is a story of connection, a connection built through suffering, through patience, through not giving up. And when the journey came to an end, there was one question left. Do you leave? him behind to return to the same suffering, or do you take responsibility and change his life? Bhante chose to act, not alone, but with the support of many. People came together, they gave, they helped, and through that collective effort, Aloka found a new life. This is merit, not something you speak about, something you live. So when you watch this journey, look deeper. This is not only about walking. This is not only about a monk. This is about how we respond to the suffering in front of us, and whether we choose to turn away or to care fully